Doing, sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm Ailie, and me and my friend Marie Louise are going to tell you some stories and sing you some songs at this lovely festival of friendship put on by Connections. Isn't that right, Marie Louise?
Yes, and it's lovely to be here.
Very lovely. Are you going to start us off with a song?
Well, I thought I would start off with Drunken Sailor.
Excellent.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor early in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. Put him in the longboat till he's sober, put him in the longboat till he's sober, put him in the longboat till he's sober early in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. Stick him in a barrel with a hose pipe on him, stick him in a barrel with a hose pipe on him, stick him in a barrel with a hose pipe on him early in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning.
Oh, that was great, Marie Louise. Well, I wonder if your drunken sailor ever sailed to the Isle of Little Cumbrae, just off the Ayrshire coast. I have got a story that comes from the Isle of Little Cumbrae, and it is a legend about Little Cumbrae Castle. Because people say that Little Cumbrae Castle was built by an imp. And while the little imp was building Little Cumbrae Castle, his father, the old imp, was building another castle just over the water on the mainland at Porton Cross. So every day the young imp would go to Little Cumbrae and build his castle, and the old imp would go to Porton Cross and build his castle. And one day the little imp was busy building away when he realized that he'd forgotten his cup. He had nothing to drink out of. And so he called right over the water to his dad on the other side. And he called, "Hey, Dad, Dad, throw us over a cup. I forgot my cup. Throw us over a cup." And the old imp, who must have been a strong old imp, he picked up his cup and he took aim and he chucked it right over the water, and it landed at the young imp's feet. Well, a little while later, the young imp calls again. "Hey, Dad, Dad, I forgot my handkerchief. Throw us over your hanky. I don't have a hanky." And so the old imp, he takes his hanky out of his pocket. He ties it in a knot to make it better for throwing. Takes aim and whoosh, that hanky flies whee, right over the sea and lands at the young imp's feet. He picks it up and he blows his nose. Well, towards the end of the day, oh, you've got your hanky there, Mary Louise. Towards the end of the day, the young imp needed a hammer. And he knew that the old imp had a hammer. And so he calls, Dad, hey, Dad, throw us over your hammer. I don't have a hammer. Throw us over your hammer. Now, I think that the old imp must have been a wee bit tired at the end of that day. He picked up his hammer and he took aim and he threw it. But the hammer splashed into the sea, right in the middle of the sea, between Little Cumbrae and Porton Cross, and it sank to the bottom. And people say that that hammer is still there at the bottom of the sea. And the young imp, he didn't have his hammer. The old imp, he didn't have his hammer. And so they couldn't go on with building the castles. And if you go to Little Cumbrae and Porton Cross, that is why you will find those castles remain unfinished to this very day.
Oh, goodness. Well, when I think of castles, I think of Edinburgh Castle because that's near where I live. And I always think about soldiers and castles. So here's a song I haven't sung for a long time, and I wonder if you know it. It goes like this. Oh, soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum? Oh, no, sweet maid, I cannot marry you, for I have no coat to put on. So off she went to her grandfather's chest, and she caught him a coat of the very, very best. And the soldier put it on. Oh, soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum? Oh, no, sweet maid, I cannot marry you, for I have no hat to put on. So off she went to her grandfather's chest, and she fetched him a hat of the very, very best. And the soldier put it on. Oh, soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum? Oh, no, sweet maid, I cannot marry you, for I have no socks to put on. So off she went to her grandfather's chest, and she got him some socks of the very, very best. And the soldier put them on. Oh, soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum? Oh, no, sweet maid, I cannot marry you, for I have no boots to put on. So off she went to her grandfather's chest, and she fetched him some boots of the very, very best. And the soldier put them on. Oh, soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum? Oh, no, sweet maid, I cannot marry you, for I have a wife of my own.
Oh, that was one of my favorite songs when I was little. My mom always sang that to me. Well, I very much enjoyed hearing that song again, Mary Louise, but I have to say I was very slightly distracted, very slightly, because I have got my washing out on the line in the back garden, and just when you were singing that song, there was a little bit of pitter-pattering of rain. So I think my washing might be getting a wee bit wet. Are you a line person, Mary Louise, or are you a tumble dry kind of a person?
I'm a line person when I can remember to put my line up, because my line falls down all the time.
Oh no, that's no good.
That's no good at all.
Well, I have got a wee story about hanging out the washing on the line. I think there might be some socks in this story, actually. And it's about an old lady called Mrs McTavish. And this is from the days long before tumble dryers. So she, of course, had to put her washing out on the line. There weren't any tumble dryers when she was alive. So anyway, one day she puts out the laundry, the washing on the line. She pegs it all up and there's a nice wee breeze blowing. She goes inside and she makes herself a cup of tea and she sits down. And as soon as she sits down, can you guess what happens? It starts to rain. Just like today, it starts to rain. And so she jumps up, she runs out into the back garden and she unpegs all the clothes on the line. She puts them in the basket and she rushes back indoors with all the washing. She is in such a rush to get it in out of the rain that she does not notice that she's dropped one of her pegs in the grass in the back garden. One of her pegs goes flying into the grass in the back garden and she doesn't notice. Well, that little peg, it lay in the grass all autumn, and it lay in the grass all winter, and it lay in the grass all spring, and the rain rained on the little peg, and the snow snowed on the little peg. And even though this is a Scottish story, the sun did sometimes shine on the little peg. Now that little peg was made of willow wood, and the thing about willow wood is that it will grow. Even if it has been made into something and has left its tree behind many years ago, it is still capable of growing. And that is just what happened. In the springtime, the little peg put down a root and put up a shoot. Put down a root and put up a shoot. Put down a root and put up a shoot. And by the end of the spring, there was a wee little willow tree growing in Mrs McTavish's garden. And by the end of the next spring, there was a medium-sized willow tree growing in Mrs McTavish's garden. And by the end of the next year, there was a fully grown willow tree growing in Mrs McTavish's garden. And every so often, when the sun was shining, Mrs McTavish would go out and she would lop off one of the branches, take it inside and get out her penknife, and she would whittle and cut and whittle and cut and whittle and cut as she sat by the fire. And she would make pegs, lots and lots of pegs. And when she had a basket full, she would take them to market and sell them. And so Mrs McTavish and the willow tree lived happily ever after.
Oh, that sounds like a never-ending supply of pegs. That sounds good. I'm always losing my pegs.
Well, that's a good argument for using wooden pegs instead of plastic ones.
Oh, well, Mrs McTavish at the market reminds me of that song, Alive, Alive, Oh.
Oh, I love that one.
If you know that song, then please do join in. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone, wheeling her barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. But her ghost wheels its barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
Lovely. Have you got one more for us, Marie Louise?
Well, I always think that song's a bit sad. I don't know about you, but when I was wee, I seem to remember that every party seemed to finish with the hokey cokey. I don't know if it's like that in your house, Ailie, is it?
Oh, well, I do remember doing a few hokey cokeys at school parties and Sunday school
Yeah,
parties,
yeah.
definitely.
Well, if you can remember the hokey cokey, then please join in. You put your right arm in, you put your right arm out, you put your right arm out and you shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Sing, oh, hokey cokey cokey, oh, hokey cokey cokey, oh, hokey cokey cokey, and that's what it's all about. You put your left arm in, you put your left arm out, you put your left arm in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around, and that's what it's all about. Sing, oh, hokey cokey cokey, oh, hokey cokey cokey, oh, hokey cokey cokey, and that's what it's all about. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you my legs. What if I just put my whole self in and my whole self out? Please join in. You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around, and that's what it's all about. Sing, oh, hokey cokey cokey, oh, hokey cokey cokey, oh, hokey cokey cokey, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, that was just lovely. Well, I think that hokey cokey has brought us to the end of our time at this lovely Friendship Festival. But before we go, we would like to say a big thank you to everybody at Connections, Edel and everybody for helping us with this. And thank you to all of you for joining in and listening. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.